我现在在上班路上，但是我真的
I'm on my way to work right now, but I really don't know if I should keep going because I haven't been paid in 6 months. As of now, I still haven't received my January salary. I don't know if I should quit. I've been in this industry for 15 years, and I'm very reluctant to leave. Plus, I don't know what I would do if I quit. For someone like me, approaching 40, there aren't many opportunities out there to retrain and start over, especially when there are over 2 million college graduates waiting for jobs. The current economic downturn is putting enormous pressure on those of us born in the 80s. Every month, after paying off loans, the money we have left for supporting our families puts us in debt. I really don't know what to do. In the video, this woman tearfully talks about not getting paid and being afraid to quit her job, but actually, since the beginning of this year, cases of companies not paying their employees have been happening frequently in China's job market. By early June, these incidents have erupted across the country, further destabilizing Chinese society.
Why are you sleeping here? Where is your home? Our home is far away. Then why are you here? I work here. Doesn't the company you work for provide a place to stay? Don't they take care of you? My rent is due, but I can't pay it because the boss hasn't paid me for the last 2 or 3 months.
Seeing people living on the streets due to unpaid wages, the person filming remarked, "How can things like this still be happening in 2024? What's ridiculous is that not only are these incidents happening, but they are spreading nationwide. On June 28th, the developer of the Zhoucheng Lafitte mansions in Jining, Shandong, was exposed for not paying construction fees. Workers gathered at the site to protest for their wages, but were forcibly removed by security guards hired by the developer. During this time, physical altercations and shoving occurred, with some workers being beaten by security personnel and injured, lying on the ground. Ultimately, the wage issue was not resolved. Due to the unpaid construction fees, many workers' family members are sick but can't afford treatment. One typical example is the woman in the video. "This is my husband, and this is my son. My husband has lung cancer, and my son is in a vegetative state. All of this is because Wuhan Hao Tianyuan Company has been withholding our construction payments. This delay caused my husband and son to miss the best treatment window, leading to my husband's condition worsening and spreading throughout his body. Now we are going to demand payment from them." According to online sources, the woman in the video is part of a group demanding payment for construction work. The company that owes her wages is Wuhan Hao Tianyuan Company. Due to the prolonged period without pay, she had to bring her sick family members to Wuhan to demand payment on the streets. At the scene, a police officer trying to stop the woman said, "They are indeed in a difficult situation, and I can understand that, but there's nothing I can do." This statement shattered the Chinese people's belief in the rule of law in China. Similarly, protests due to unpaid wages have occurred in Guangdong. In the video from the link, recorded on July 1st and 2nd in Fenggang Town, Dongguan, Guangdong, the streets are filled with garbage at every neighborhood gate. The green trash bins designated for garbage are overflowing, forcing people to pile trash beside them. Despite the abundance of trash, there are no sanitation workers cleaning it up because they are protesting due to collective wage cuts and unpaid salaries, leaving them no choice but to strike. Protests for unpaid wages have also occurred in Henan. On June 17th, in Xincheng City, Zhengzhou, workers from Huawei Optoelectronics Company Limited, a subsidiary of Xingang Investment Group, staged a sit-in protest outside the company due to unpaid wages. In Liaoning, unpaid construction workers protested by holding banners that read, "Give me back my hard-earned money." Multiple industries in Shandong are experiencing long-term outstanding wage payments due to economic difficulties. On June 25th, Gangcheng Bus Station in Jinan announced that all bus routes would be suspended indefinitely starting from June 25th due to special reasons. On the same day, media company Yilu Evening News in Shandong confirmed the suspension of operations by Jinan Gangcheng Bus Company. The reason for the suspension was due to unpaid wages and social security contributions, as stated by the company's representative from Shandong Laiwu Longyun Group Company Limited. This representative mentioned that currently, over 1,000 employees are owed wages and social security, totaling around 60 million yuan, equivalent to around $8 million US. The money owed include 9 months of social security and 4 months of wages. Despite these long-term debts, the company is still operating at a loss. A bus driver from the company said that only 1 month's salary has been paid this year, and the employee's pension insurance has not been paid since 2022. Upon further investigation, it was found that this bus company experienced similar suspension incidents at the end of 2022 and in April 2023. As for the current suspension, there is no specific information on when it will end. Online, some people have mentioned that sanitation workers in the Shizhong district of Jinan are also experiencing unpaid wages, leading to uncollected garbage in the area. One internet user commented, "Come and see Shizhong district today. At Shizhongshi Liulihe, garbage hasn't been collected for 2 days, and there's no sanitation worker to clean the garbage outside the bins. It's all stinking now. This is because they haven't been paid for 9 months." It's not just the buses in Gangcheng that have stopped operating. Buses in Laiwu have also been forced to suspend services. An internet user from Qingdao mentioned that Laishi buses haven't paid any salaries for 6 months this year. School bus drivers' salaries were delayed for 2 months last year and haven't been paid at all this year. The buses in the west coast of Qingdao have been out of operation for 5 months, and people are too afraid to voice any complaints. There are also reports about sanitation workers and bus drivers in Weishan, Shandong, not receiving wages for 5 to 6 months. Chihe County in Dezhou, Shandong, frequently delaying wages for 7 to 8 months, social workers in Zhunan, Linyi, not receiving wages for 8 months but still holding their posts, and Weifang buses not paying wages for 4 months. Which city in Shandong will be reported on next? So far, reports from internet users have almost covered every city in Shandong province. One user said, "There's probably no county or city in Shandong that isn't in debt now." Following these reports, internet users from Tianjin also spoke up. They said that previously, workers in Tianjin protested after 16 months of unpaid wages, forcing the company to pay, but then it started delaying wages again. Currently, the fastest payments have been paid up to February this year, while the longest delays are for 7 months of unpaid wages. These incidents of wages owed and salary cuts are not limited to the working class. As China's economic collapse accelerates, even state-owned enterprises and government jobs are becoming zones of unpaid wages.
现在已经4月了，居然有这么多公司。
By April this year, there were so many companies that hadn't paid salaries for several months. Many private enterprises couldn't pay wages. Listed companies were delaying salaries, and even some state-owned enterprises hadn't paid salaries for several months. Can you believe it? From the second half of last year to April this year, the employment environment has been really bad in many places. One internet user mentioned working at a listed real estate company, which hasn't paid salaries since the end of last year. Even going to the Labor Bureau for arbitration was useless. If the company can't pay, you just have to wait. The worst part is that the company isn't making workers redundant either, just waiting for them to quit on their own, because a company that can't even pay salaries certainly won't be able to afford severance. Right now, there are indeed many organizations that can't pay wages, with many companies operating at a loss for several months. The job market is tough, with many companies cutting salaries to force employees to quit. Construction companies are having a hard time getting paid, and the future economic pressure is immense. For those over 35, it's advisable to choose carefully.
On June 24th, Ima Maternity Hospital in Zhengcheng District, Guangzhou, was reported by the media to have not paid wages for 3 months. To reclaim their hard-earned money, employees flocked to the Zhengcheng Legal Aid Center for help. The video shows employees gathering at the legal center waiting for assistance. Employees of China State Construction Engineering Corporation, CSCEC, also took to social media to collectively expose unpaid wages. Due to the sheer number of posts, this information has flooded the Chinese media platform, Xiaohongshu. The posts mention that the CSCEC's third bureau has not paid wages for 2 months. In the comments, some mentioned that the China Railway 15th Bureau and 2nd Bureau have not paid wages for 6 months, and China Communications First Public Bureau for 5 months. Another commenter mentioned that the entire CSCEC group has not paid construction companies for several years. Due to ongoing debts, arrears, and unpaid wages, the CSCEC group may conduct massive layoffs next year to reduce expenses. In this wave of wage arrears, the education sector has also been affected. Recently, even public educational institutions in China have been delaying teacher salaries, leading to more and more teachers protesting. On June 13th, teachers at Normal University-affiliated middle school in Jiangxi protested with banners on campus to demand their unpaid wages. During this process, the school leaders did not suppress the protest because the principal was also helpless. Additionally, on June 25th, teachers at the experimental high school attached to Beijing Normal in Hangzhou, Shanxi, went on strike due to several months of unpaid wages, pension insurance, and housing provident funds. These two schools mentioned are well-known public schools in their provinces. As public schools, they are funded by the government, and teachers' salaries are primarily paid by the government. The fact that even these prominent provincial public high schools are experiencing unpaid wages suggests that local government finances are on the brink of collapse. It can be said that various industries in China are deeply trapped in debt and wage cuts. To make the public aware of this economic situation, a blogger compiled a list of traditionally stable professions that are not paying salaries in 2024. First are the two wage-related protests at Ruzhou Maternal and Childcare Hospital in recent years. According to publicly available information, the hospital has not paid wages for a year, and it has also stopped paying employees medical insurance. The local government of Pulandian District in Dalian City has been delaying the 13th salary for teachers for many years. The 13th salary refers to the bonus that can be received after completing 1 year of work, equivalent to a 13th month salary. The performance pay for public institutions in Pulandian has not been paid since 2017, and it also owes the heating allowance for teachers for 2020. Some might say that it's understandable for inland cities to struggle economically and delay wages, but cities in economic zones like the Yangtze River Delta and Pearl River Delta are also cutting wages. Not only are salaries being reduced, but bonuses from previous years are being deducted from current wages. Recently, the most attention has been on the wave of salary cuts at China International Capital Corporation, CICC, and China Construction Bank. CICC has drawn particular attention due to rumors of a 30-year-old female employee who reportedly jumped to her death because she could not pay her mortgage after a salary cut. According to online sources, the female employee's name is Zheng Wenlu. She was born in 1994 and graduated from Zhejiang University with both a bachelor's and master's degree. She worked in general securities business in Shanghai's FICC department at CICC. Last year, Zheng bought a property in Shanghai worth over 10 million yuan. The online loan repayment page showed she needed to repay about 50,000 yuan per month. Originally, with her monthly salary of 80,000 to 100,000 yuan, repaying the loan was manageable. However, at the beginning of this year, CICC significantly cut employee salaries, with base salaries dropping by 25%, affecting over 2,000 people. Sources indicate Zheng's salary plummeted from over 80,000 yuan to just over 30,000 yuan. Making it impossible for her to afford her expensive loan. An employee currently at CICC confirmed the salary cut rumors, saying she had heard about the cuts and that some positions had seen salaries slashed by up to 70%. As this incident continued to unfold, the reality of salary cuts in China's financial sector gradually came to light. China's Economic Observer cited insiders stating that China's investment bank, CITIC Securities, would reduce salaries by 20% this year, while CSC Financial had already cut salaries by 20% earlier this year and planned another reduction soon. Employees at Central China Securities and Guotai Junan Securities face salary cuts exceeding 10%. In the banking sector, data released by Yicai Media Group in April showed that bank management salaries were cut by an average of 13%. At Ping An Bank, executive salaries were slashed by over 40%, while at China Merchants Bank and China Minsheng Bank, executive salaries were cut by more than 30%. Executives at Bank of Chongqing, Chongqing Rural Commercial Bank, Postal Savings Bank, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, and China Everbright Bank also saw salary cuts exceeding 10%. On July 1st, two insiders at China Construction Bank, CCB, told Reuters that CCB, China's second-largest commercial bank, had instructed at least a 10% salary cut for its headquarters employees. One insider mentioned that most CCB branches experienced even larger salary cuts than the headquarters, although some high-performing departments kept salary reductions to single digits. The extent of salary cuts varied by position, with higher-level executives facing more significant reductions. Due to the confidentiality of the information, the two sources declined to be named, and CCB did not respond to Reuters' request for comment. Even if there were a response, it would likely be to cover up China's dire economic situation. CCB's salary cut policy highlights the challenges faced by the Chinese financial companies amid economic slowdown. Chinese commercial banks are under increasing profit pressure as they are forced to offer cheaper loans to stimulate the sluggish economy, yet loan demand remains weak. Additionally, the Chinese authorities are pushing the Common Prosperity Campaign, with the top anti-corruption watchdog vowing to dismantle Western notions of financial elites. This has prompted many financial companies, including state-owned and private companies, to announce salary and bonus cuts and instruct employees not to wear expensive clothes or branded watches to work. These so-called salary cuts and wage arrears are merely survival tactics by the Chinese government. With declining land finance, some local governments can't even pay salaries, causing a complete break in the funding chain. In desperation to protect themselves, they resort to various means such as salary cuts, fines, and selling management and usage rights. Now, in China, traditionally stable and secure jobs like those in government positions or state-owned enterprises are no different to the traditionally insecure and unstable jobs. Even civil servants are facing widespread salary cuts. A civil servant under the alias Xiao Fan, who works for Beijing's municipal government, told the media that while basic salaries haven't changed this year, various allowances and bonuses have been cut by several tens of thousands of yuan. To address this, the Bureau set up a salary reduction office to eliminate previous benefits that are deemed unreasonable, ultimately aiming to save government money. But will these so-called measures truly revive China's economy? The answer is likely no. As Taiwanese economist Wu Jialong said, the fundamental issue for the Chinese government is whether to focus on the economy or politics. The Chinese government cannot manage the economy effectively in an open political environment like Western countries, nor can it stabilize its political foundation within a market economy. For the economy to thrive, people need reform, property rights, and security, which contradicts the Chinese Communist Party's ideology. Thus, the economy remains an incurable disease for the Chinese government.